So today's presentation is going to be, as I said, consistent of three parts. Let's paint kind of triangle here. I'm not an artist, so the triangle is so-so. First of all, we will be talking about SAP as a company, what SAP is today, right? Then we will be talking about SAP platform, which is database and platform meanwhile. And finally, it's going to be a small demonstration, just to give you a small idea how big data can be used in modern business. Do you think something is missing from this agenda, or you don't agree with something? Silence. Okay. So with this said, I would like to show you a small video which will give you a first initial understanding of what is modern business about and what is SAP role in that. Please look.
Can a business have a mind, a subconscious, a knack for predicting the future? Reflexes faster than the speed of thought. Can a business have a spirit? Can a business have a soul? Can a business be alive?
So, as you could see on that video, now we are talking about the business as for an existing living body, organism, right? So it lives its life, it reacts on something, it should be dynamical, it should be treated as a nearly human being, right? And today I would like to speak about the future of business and SAP roles in that. First of all, let me, okay, some time delays, probably it's not on SAP HANA. And yeah. First, I would like to say that we as SAP are trying to cover the business from three main points of view: from the global scale, from the business scale, and from the personal one. From the global scale, I can say that with our company, 74% of global's revenue is somehow connected with our systems. From the business scale, I can say that about 98% of the top 100 most valued brands in the world are using SAP somehow, or just say SAP is important for them. And finally, we have a big portfolio of mobile applications for our business. So, more or less, these numbers are saying about themselves. After that, I would like to say, what is our portfolio? Our portfolio is including the cloud solutions. We would like to position ourselves as a cloud company, and our main product is SAP HANA, which I will be speaking about later on. Finally, we have an analytical portfolio which is also relevant for business. And as you can see, there are four more essential for the business areas that should be covered. Also, there are a kind of busy slide, right? Many numbers. But the whole idea of this slide is that enterprise, which is effective and modern, is the system to use your enterprise is more or less important. So these numbers, do you have any questions so far? Silence so far, that's very good. So the idea message of that slide is the fastest growing enterprise cloud company at a scale. We are a leader in the market unit. Then I would like to talk a little bit about the business network. When you imagine that you are doing business, right? You have something to produce, you have produced something, and you should share it somewhere. It is impossible to run business when there is only one person or company. It should be a community. So we offer in the market a business network that is bigger than Alibaba, Amazon, and eBay altogether. So it is a huge competitive advantage for the firms that are using our business networks. Going further, let's speak about the trends, because I promised to speak about the modern business trends, and here we can see that the customer expectations of modern world are rising, right? People, at least for example, Forrester or Gartner, the information providers, they assume that by the year of 2025, the middle class of the world population will be nearly 5 billion people. That means these people will need access to modern information. They will be more economically active, right? Also, I would like to say that workforce is dramatically changing. About 75% of the future workforce will be the generation Y, or millennials, right? Do you know what is millennials? Who are them? It's like my generation or your generation, right? So we are brought up on social networks. I cannot imagine my life without a smartphone or without internet, right? It's pretty impossible. And also, it's going to be a higher pressure on resources. The bigger the population of the Earth is, the smaller resources we have. I mean, there are some studies that people will be fighting for the oil, for water, for everything, any resource, because they are limited. And you need to have a sophisticated solution how to manage your resources in an effective way, okay? And finally, everything, we are talking about the connected world. Everything gonna be connected, from the small devices, as for example my iPad or mobile phone, to people. In the future, everything can communicate. So there are already some cases that, for example, a car is communicated to the gas station that it is approaching, so they can prepare the needed amount of petrol, for example. It's already a communication. And these are the trends of modern business. But let's talk a little bit about the innovation. That not only in global, but in particular, there are some trends that will be important. First of all, customer experience is going to be important, because a customer now there are too much offer in the market that there is no lack of products. People usually can choose from something, and they need to choose the best one. They need to have the best customer experience. For example, you go to the shop and you would like to drink a juice, and usually there's not only one type of juice, there are several of them, and you will be deciding which to buy according to several criteria, to the price, quality, branding, right? Also, not only in the personal part of side, but also in the work, the employees prefer to be engaged. They prefer to work for the best companies in the market, right? They prefer good conditions of work. They prefer to be relevant for the company, right? Nobody would like to work for the company which treats them in a bad way, if I can say so. And finally, about the resources and big data. The companies that will be able to leverage that benefit of big data about every information that is around us, they can rise their operational margin, which is really significant index for CEOs or decision makers in the companies, up to 60%, which is kind of relevant. Do you have so far any questions about the trends and about the modern, tendencies? So far it is clear. So this big amount of information, it is a network, and it is innovation, right? Let's move further. And what are the new game changers, I would say, that can help you to survive in this environment of change? First of all, there should be a platform or a tool which can store all that information that around us, so you can access it anytime you need. Secondly, these are applications or any kind of program that can not only take that data but process it, so you have information, so you can understand the data which is around us. And finally, we are talking about networks. Because once you got the data that is around us, then you process it into the information, into insight you need to share with somebody. This is actually the whole business cycle. You take something, you process it, and you share it. This is all the way around. Any questions so far? No. Let's move forward. And this is the, how to say, tough reality, right? With this environment of change, there are three main things that are complicating our life. First of all, it is complex decision making. Because imagine you are running a company. You every day need to take a decision from where to start, who to take on, which direction to go, what to buy. There are hundreds of decisions you have to make every day. So decision making at the end of the day is hard for you. Then we are talking about complex business processes. So what would you say if I ask you, is it possible or is it easy to run a business today? For example, you. What do you think? Is it possible was it easy to start a business, to run a business? What is your opinion about that? Can you, for example, tomorrow open a new firm and start to produce something? Is it easy?
Well, it depends on what you offer. When you try to sell a product, you have to produce it, and then it's not easy. But it's easier to offer a service, so which will be, I don't know if you can open it tomorrow, but it's way more complex.
So what I've heard from you, that it is not easy, it is way more complex. So in general, running a business,
It's complex.
it is complex, right? And unfortunately, while time is passing, the business processes are becoming more and more complex because of competitors, because of dynamic market environment, because of many things, right? And finally, we are talking about the complex technology. In order to survive in that business, you need tools which help you to be vivid, to be, how to say, competitive in that environment. And technology, computers that you need to run your business become more and more complex, right? So three main things that making our life hell is actually complex decisions, complex technology, and complex processes. All these three together kind of kill our time. At the end of the day, you need a lot of time to come up with a good decision. At the end of the day, you need a lot of time to organize that business processes that you were talking about, service, company, because it just consumes a lot of time. At the end of the day, you need a lot of time to be able to run that technology, to study how to operate that, right? With this said, I'm going a little bit further. And here I would say that what we offer is cut of that time in your business processes. I mean, now with using with modern technology, you don't need that much time to do your administrative or to do your, how to say, operational stuff. Now with this technology, you can invest your time into innovation or strategic parts. For example, you don't need, for example, as I put it here, on a weekly basis, make your inventory. Imagine you have a warehouse with bottles of beer, right? What you do usually, every week you come to that warehouse, you count that bottles of beer. How many do you have, right? Because you are selling something, you are producing something. But now, with the modern technology, you can take that information like that. On your screen, you will see in real time how many bottles of beer you have. You don't have to go there and count them physically, which saves your time again. And actually, all our strategy or all our logo here is reflected in these two words, which is run simple. That means that we help your business run effectively and as much as it's possible in a simple way. With this said, I would like to transmit to another presentation where I will tell you how exactly does it work from a little bit of technological point of view. By the way, so far, do you have any questions? Something was not clear? If I tell you that I think that there are three main problems in the modern world in terms of complexity, do you agree? That world is becoming more and more complex. Any opinion, for example. For somebody it can be more easier and easier, right? Less information, you don't have to do something, you don't have to know something. Yeah? Because in my opinion, I've studied for 5 years and I still continue to study because I need that, how to say, every day I'm knowing I'm just studying something, yeah? Because it helps me to survive. Well, let me show you another video. Too loud.
150 sensors monitor car and driver performance around every corner. These sensors track vital stats like engine performance, tire health, brake wear, and driver biometrics. In one lap, they will collect and transmit 2 gigabytes of data. In a single race, a staggering 3 terabytes. SAP HANA enables McLaren's existing systems to process this data 14,000 times faster than before. Analysis that previously took almost a week to process can be completed in the span of a instant. To maximize performance for the car and the driver. They make critical decisions at every turn, in every lap, every heartbeat. Strategies evolve as the race progresses, and powerful predictions help light the path to the podium. SAP HANA supports this high-pressure environment. Now McLaren can compare 10 years of historical data against the real-time race feed in every calculation. This enables the team to make more confident predictions and help guide their drivers on the track. Confident predictions mean faster, more informed decisions, and informed decisions win races. SAP HANA, cloud, and mobility have no capacity limits. Critical tools and information are accessible anywhere, with real-time processing at record speeds. That's why SAP is being implemented across the McLaren Group. It's a partnership driven by exceptional data analysis, both on and off the track.
All right. So, when I saw that video for the first time, actually the message that I got from that video is that modern businesses, the high-performing modern businesses as McLaren, for example, they need to take a lot of decisions every day at a critical speed, and every decision can be critical for them. And again, we are coming back to that complexity. You have seen a lot of numbers, you have seen a lot of, how to say, high turns, you have seen a lot of cooperation, because that staff which is providing, which is supporting that pilot during the race should cooperate and collaborate. We are talking about that network. There are a lot of data from that race, speed, pressure, anything else. It is big data, right? And each modern business need to address this somehow. But this is my understanding of SAP HANA. It's kind of a tool, right? It's a platform, database to address that big data, information and so on, but it can be shown as a Swiss knife. It is multi-tool that sometimes can save even your life. And I mean, just it's a simulation like business. Sometimes in tourism, right, in the forest, SAP HANA is like a Swiss knife for a business. Let's have a look how does this work. This is agenda for this micro presentation, right? We will have a look on that big data challenge itself, and then I would like to show you to explain what is in-memory computing in the modern business and how can it help you. Then I describe HANA itself, and if we will have time, I will explain how big data work in the contemporary market. So we will talk about market momentum. Well, according to McKinsey report that I've found on the internet, about 90% of the world's data has been created in the last 2 years. That means only last 2 years the whole information was created. Then it was before. So, and the tendency is going up and up. It's going to be more and more data in the future. But how did we get there? How did we actually fight through to that video, to that real-time processing of information? When I was studying informatics at school, they told us that the first databases or information technology appeared in actual 1960s. It were the big machines, right, like a cupboard, big computers that were really slow. It was just a couple of megabytes of data, but still they were working. Then the time was passing, and in 1970s they invented hard disks, right? The big tape where you can record your data, your information somehow, right? But still big machines, big computers. Nobody could afford to have their personal computer because they were taking out the big floor. It's like this room, right? One computer. Then in 1980s, somehow people tried to innovate. And now we can talking about small disks, right? That's flat disks. And already there were first initial steps that we tried to establish network between this big computer and personal one. So in 1980s, it actually was the first personal computer invented, but still no database, and still it was impossible to run business using computer. And now, in late 90s and 2000 plus, we are talking about the era of network. But the system remained the same. So actually, what we are using now, or in the majority of companies' businesses, is the system that was invented 40 years ago. That means, but as I said, the world is changing. So we need to invent a new way how to deal with the contemporary changing world, right? This system is already old, right? And what we came up next? Actually, the whole idea of this slide is that even academical world, like data scientists, predict that the contemporary world cannot run on the simple computers like this. The new way should be found. And what we did as SAP is that 6 or 7 years ago at Potsdam University in Potsdam, we start with a blank piece of paper with whiteboard and thought, imagine, we found or we invented the applications for business about 40 years ago. How would we do it if we had to do it right now? What should we do, or which criteria to implement if we need to invent those business applications right now? And actually, by the way, do you remember who is that guy? It's not this one, no. This gentleman is the founder of SAP, and in this article he says that in 2009 the new platform was founded, the new SAP HANA, which can tackle all that new requirements that I've been talking about big data, about this complex decision making and business processes. But how does this SAP HANA work? how does this in-memory computing work, I would like to talk right now. First of all, what is the main complexity, right? Where that complexity is hidden? It is here, disk storage. Imagine this is your flash drive or hard disk or CD, right? With some information. Here I have my song, here I have my, I don't know, study materials, here I have my video, right? Here's a video from my friend's birthday. Everything is stored somewhere, right? But my computer, that central process computer, is only one. I have 5 flash disks, 5 CD disks, 5, I don't know, tapes, but only one computer. And in order to process that all, I need to put all that together and transfer knowledge or information to my one computer. And here is a bottleneck, because computer is only one and a lot of data. What we do at HANA, what we did, right, is this a little bit difficult slide, but each processor, what I was talking about, central processing unit, has different lanes of cache, and it's where the data is stored. In order to explain you a little bit in easier words, right? For example, you can be a central processor, right? You will be, what's your name?
Jihad.
Jihad, my name is Alex, nice to meet you, Jihad. So Jihad is a central processor, is this guy. What is your name? Elder, my name is Alex. You will be the cacher number 1. And this is your information, right? Here's those song, right? And I don't know, what is your name? Kristen. Nice to meet you, my name is Alex. You have wedding photos, also information. And now, what we are going to do. So, I need to access my wedding images, and I would like to ask, and you, for example, imagine, you need to process that information, my wedding cards, right? You ask Kristen to bring that information to you. Kristen, can you bring information to Jihad to process information? Just physically, can you bring that information? So it takes some time, right? It's going, information is coming. Here we are, right? Elder, can you also do the same? For example, I need to access my birthday song, right? It was a little bit faster, but still, it takes some time. And this is how the modern, the traditional database is working. Each time I need to process it, I ask the storage to bring me some data. But imagine that it is only in this cache, in this store. But what about the external data, right? What about the data which is stored in different countries? That means that normally I use it with strings, but so what we did now is that we covered these distances, right? Kristen covered some distance to you, and it took already some time. But imagine a data is stored somewhere in different country. So Kristen would have to travel somewhere abroad to bring you that data, and it would take far more time than that we use now, right? And what about different countries also? And this is how the traditional memory works. In SAP HANA, we do it in easier way. That means that Jihad has all his information just situated here, right? If he needs a birthday song, it is here. If he needs a wedding card, it is here. Just everything on one table, right? It's easy. And also, what we did with that data is that we put hardware innovations and software innovations together, right? So, do you understand the concept of traditional database and a new one, right? Traditional one was that information was stored somewhere, right, on the planet, and now Jihad has all the information on his table. Well, just like this. right? No bottleneck here, but everything so-called in memory. So remember, imagine this table is memory of GitHub, and everything is on his table and easy accessible, so he can easily process that information. To tell you a little bit more complicated stuff, right? Now the business platforms like this one, like SAP HANA, which I was explaining to you earlier, now can process different types of data. I was explaining to you birthday cards, birthday song, or wedding cards, like these all are different types of information. And now our platform is able to process really different types of data, starting from your transactions. That means, for example, any bank transaction, financial transactions, right? To unstructured data. For example, this is a social network, Facebook. If I'm searching for the candidate on my job position, I can connect to Facebook and kind of analyze what the people are talking about on Facebook related to my firm. So I can get the insight, is my company is perceived in a good or bad way, okay? And many others. In terms of machine data, your tractors can communicate. Your Hadoop, which is a little bit more complicated stuff, many servers communicated to each other. Locations, for example, where your track is situated. For example, traveling, bringing beer to the Czech Republic, or from the Czech Republic to, where are you from?
Germany.
To Germany, it's vice versa, I think. Germany, and you have also good beer, by the way. But it can travel and bring Skoda autos to Germany, right? And you can exactly real-time identify where the truck is, this is location data, and other applications, many, many more. These all being gathered from this one table, go to integration services, and then analyzed. So you can analyze all my data and give me an insight in terms of my truck now is on the border of the Czech Republic and Germany, and everything is good, for example. So for me, this is already an information that can help me to come up with the better decision, right? And then you have a user interface. So I not only can get that information, but also I can see that information, which is the game changer.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
But you still store the basic data in the cloud in different data centers across the world.
Well, this is a technology of virtualization. That means, what is cloud, right? Cloud is your information still being stored on a server, but you have an access to that data from different parts. For example, we store the data in a Waldorf, but we give you an access to your data on our safe server. So you don't have to buy a physical hardware. You just buy an access and a license, right? And you can store your data there. For you, or as for the business, it is good in terms that you don't have to have physical hardware. In terms of you don't have to maintain that, you don't have to invest any money in that, and so on. You just have a virtual license which enables you to access that data from our server, which we are taking care of. Okay? Yeah, and here is the slide which shows the main difference actually between the traditional data analytics technology and the new one. And this is that in memory. Imagine that, remember I was explaining that table. This table is memory, and all data is in memory on that table. But before that, it was a big thing, right, that we have eliminated. Because all the time you have your data, for example, your information about your sales, you have to extract it, put it in some data warehouse. And if there are about information about your data, about your customer behavior, about the prices, about all of that are small pieces of different data. But you need to aggregate that. You need to create an index to that, then aggregate indexes, and then maybe some query results. We have deleted all of that and put all of that data on one table. And now this is accessible. And then what we did next is, created an application, which I was talking early today in the afternoon, that could process that data. And in traditional way, we have data here, and application is here. That means it is separated, right? So in order to fit that application with data, you need to extract it with some tool, and then give it to somebody who will process it. So it is time consuming. We built our application already on database. They are built on it. That means that this small person can process the data being close to it. So it's no time delay. That's why it again provides you with the new speed, which makes you to come up with the better decisions. And finally, if we are talking about that big data, how in business can be that big data and that new capabilities of fast reaction can be implemented. Please have a look on the video of one of our customers and how do they use that ability of processing their huge amounts of data and the ability of react of instant and immediate moment.
As one of the world's largest video game developers, we make browser games. This means you can play our games online anytime and any place. We have a user community of around 300 million users, and it grows by 150 to 200,000 users every day. Our games can be played online for free. This means that thousands of players can be playing the same game at a given time. What we do is sell virtual goods. For example, we might sell a boat or a special sail, or a special sword in a pirate game, or we sell special colors, things like that. Our industry depends on speed. We want to know in real time what people are doing in our games. When users are online, we have to be able to provide them with customized offers.
Ein maßgeschneidertes Angebot machen. Also wir haben das Thema Real-Time Monitoring.
We have real-time monitoring, we have real-time analyzing, and we have real-time offering. Bringing all of this together is the challenge we are faced with. So we approached the SAP Innovation Center in Potsdam with this issue. We said, we have so much data and we don't know what to do with all this data in real time. And SAP said, we've got something for you. It's called HANA.
Das heißt HANA. Die technologischen Herausforderungen.
The technological challenges at BigPoint are posed mainly by the sheer amount of data we have. The thousands of data sets that are generated every second in various areas and systems at BigPoint.
In unterschiedlichen Bereichen und unterschiedlichen.
HANA was a suitable instrument for us to address this problem that we identified. Of course, we first had to understand which analyses are important. What are the key figures that we have until now, seen on a level of 24-hour periods? What is the added value if you can calculate this in a matter of seconds?
In Sekundenschnelle berechnen können. Konkret haben wir.
We now have the possibility to see in real time what is happening in the games. That is the first and foremost requirement for us, and up to now, we had no means of achieving this. In the past, we had delays of 6 to 24 hours. Today, we have not 6 seconds, not 6 milliseconds, but real time.
Grundsätzlich ist es für BigPoint.
Basically, it is interesting for BigPoint to identify user groups and categorize them according to specific criteria, such as their buying history or their behavior in the game, say in the last 15 minutes, and to use these user groups to offer products to them and see whether they respond to them.
Unsere Erwartungshaltung.
Our expectation, and it actually seems to be coming true, is that the use of this technology and the methods behind it helps us realize sales grow in spurts of 10 to 30%. This, of course, is fantastic.
All right. So actually, if we are talking about business value of using that big data technology, I'll give you an example. Imagine this game producer, right? They create games, they sell them. And if a player is playing a strategy and now they achieving somewhat level of their hero, right? And they can monetize it in the way that they got information that the user has his game hero of, I don't know, 50th level, and they can say, if you do this and pay for this service, you can get to the, for example, 51st level. And if they can connect it to the network and also say, hey, you have an elf of 50th level, these guys also have elves of 50th level, communicate with them. And also they can monetize it in the way to access them, to enable him or her to communicate with the small community of people. Or also offer them, for example, t-shirts with logo of their favorite game. So it can be monetized in this way. And how the real-time capabilities help is that he is playing this game right now. He is interested in this game right now. And he receives a business message or proposal of a sale of that t-shirt right now. Because tomorrow, when he is at university, he is not thinking about the game, or ideally not thinking about the game, but about the study. But that evening, he has the highest probability to buy that t-shirt. Any questions? Okay, the very last thing that I would like to show you is actually how big data can be used not only in game industry, but also in, for example, logistics, because it's my specialization. Imagine the situation when I was talking about the communicating world, right? I was mentioning that everything will communicate, starting from cars to people to shops. And here you have a small dashboard. I will just enlarge the screen. And also, I was talking about, remember that truck with Czech cars going to Germany. So I can exactly identify that this truck now is in Prague. You can see it there. These are all my trucks. This is one specific truck. And I also know if the driver is standing or, for example, laying, right? Or if something is wrong with the vibration, right? So the vibration in real time, I get that information. For example, my truck is now being, I don't know, kidnapped, right? And my driver is not feeling very good, and his temperature is going up, right? And light, right? For example, do you have a cell phone with the light? Yeah. Can you just put some light on that? For example, I don't know if it is daytime or nighttime, or I just need to identify, right? I need to see what is the light indicator of that. Okay, I can see that it is probably daytime, right? So light index is going up. And imagine having in business that real-time information, right? I'm sitting at home or at my office, and today, right now, I know what is going on with my truck, with my products, right? And I can react immediately, actually, if something goes wrong. Imagine how much time, how much money, and how much effort can we save. So, today you have heard about database technology from the theoretical point of view. I was explaining to you how the new innovative databases are working. That new innovation is kind of like of this table. Every data, yes, every information is here on this table in memory. it's not stored there. It's not stored there or across the street. It is here. So it is easy accessible by central processing unit. Also, I was talking about the ability to leverage big data from social networks, from different sources to take the competitive advantage. And today I have shown a practical example of how can you today use that big data and how can you in real time know the exact location information and any other indexes related to your goods. According to my timetable, we will have 15 minutes to the discussion. So feel free to ask your questions.
As SAP invest very much in security, because obviously this information can be like, let's say, hacked, and like the information can be stolen online in real time. So that SAP invests a lot.
Yeah, good question. So the question was that the SAP, what is the security level of SAP applications, and does SAP invest a lot into cyber security, for example? Right, because how does this work? Usually this sensor using RFID or Bluetooth is sending information to HANA Cloud Platform, which is a platform in the cloud, right? Which back sends to the analytical tool, and I can see all that information. And there are 5 layers of security to get that information. First of all, it is sign-on, so it is only role-based. If you have a certain identity code that you will get as an employee in the company, so this individual code that is given only to you to be able to access that information. And actually, there were even such an examples that in somewhat bank, they were trying, before the audit were coming, they were trying to access their own data in the cloud that was already closed and locked. They couldn't do it, even providing that it was their own data, because they had an individual security code that was also time related. So it was not possible to get that data after the certain amount of time. So I would prove, or I would state that the level of cyber security is pretty high because of that individual access and individual codes variants. Okay? Any other questions?
So when someone decides to use SAP HANA, is it always gets customized according to the needs, or someone can just, come and buy it off the shelf and use it as soon as possible?
Yeah. All right. So there are many. So the question was if SAP HANA solution can be customizable. The answer is yes. It depends on a deployment solution. That means that usually before implementing SAP HANA, we organize a value engineering meeting and consulting meeting. So we discuss with our customer what are their needs and in which form they prefer a HANA solution to be. That means if they need customize it anyhow from back end till front end, right? So what kind of access, how many users it will have, what should be the capabilities, and for what kind of business they will be using it. So if SAP HANA can be customized, yes, it can be, but depends on the needs of the user.
What are the main market segments you have already as customers for the solution? Probably big corporations, but also
yes. What are the main our customers?
your target customers.
I think nowadays not only big companies, right? But also small and medium companies. Because as HANA can be customized, so we can adjust it to the needs of even small companies. You don't have to be a big corporate company to be using SAP HANA or any solution.
So you have price models which kind of also relate to the size of the company.
Yes.
And
As I said, the price will be is dependent on the number of users. So logically, the less users you have, the smaller company you have, the more different price will be.
It's a software as a service.
Yeah, yeah, because it's kind of number of users, number of licenses you get, right?
Okay, in your study groups, any more questions? This is the opportunity you have.
So we have questions here that SAP currently operates in different number of sectors, like in companies. And in what companies is it has more opportunities for growth?
More opportunities for growth in which?
Like in which areas is much more popular, is more used?
Mm-hmm. In which areas the modern software can be used, right? Well, I would say in all, but in all which are commercial based, right? In all industries that you need to be agile, you need to process big amounts of information, and you should be able to react immediately on market changes, right? We have 25 industries. We provide solutions for 25 industries, starting from sport and entertainment and finishing with utilities, which is oil and gas, for example. That means the portfolio is pretty big, and it's hard to say where you should be more competitive, in which industry. Actually, you should be at the high level competitive in each industry, because you need to be kind of a leader, right? As McLaren, I've shown they are leader in the sport industry, right? As a game producer, they are a leader in the entertainment industry, right? If they have a retailer, for example, Tesco stores here in the Czech Republic, they need to be a leader in retail, and they need to get immediate information about their customers' behavior, right? If you are producing, if you're in a manufacturing company, you need to know how is your manufacturing process is going on, how much inventory do you have, when you should produce something, what are your costs. So I would say it is hard to identify which industry needs that software. I would say all industries, in order to be competitive enough, need that innovation.
You know, there's this discussion since the 90s already about management information systems and real-time information for management levels
Okay.
out of the organization. I guess that you also offer solutions for that.
For managers, if there are...
Like financial data, like customer data, and so on, what we need in real time. So how your customer base is changing. So in some businesses, this is really essential that you know how it's changing on a day-to-day basis.
Then we are talking about the application. As I was showing, so we have the database which can store all that data, right? And what we were talking about is kind of applications, for example, for managers, right? Managerial information system, for example, for finance, right? And we have it, it's called Simple Finance. And Simple Finance is the application that you were talking about, which can provide you, I will just show it to you, with all the financial data that you need in real time. For example, this is managerial dashboard, right? And you can have the real-time information about state of finance in your company in real time. If something changes, it will immediately be reflected on your screen as in front of your manager. That gives you again the possibility to react immediately. For example, your margin drops, and it's really important. You can call, for example, your accounting department or your sales representatives and just get to know what is going on, or the system will automatically suggest you what is going on. So you don't lose your time actually getting to know what the problem is, but you can invest that time into the solution. Okay? So there are many different applications on that HANA platform. For example, for finance, solution for marketing, solution for HR, solution for travel, solution for, and many, many more. And we cover 25 industries, and we cover all spheres of business. So it is really, the portfolio is big.
Are you actually, for the applications, do you cooperate with partners for certain industry solutions or something?
Yes, actually, not only cooperate, but we also acquired some of the companies, not so far, not really far ago. We acquired, for example, the solution for human capital management, which is called SuccessFactors. That means that now they represent us. That means their solution is ours. We acquired, for example, Fieldglass, which was also a company who was providing people with solutions for workforce. We acquired the Concur, which is travel solutions. That means that, yes, we cooperate and we also acquire interesting solutions and feasible solutions.
Do you feel any strong competition from competitors, or SAP is monopolistic on this field?
Yeah, we, how to say, I wouldn't name them competitors. Our partners also have some good solutions, but they still don't have that in-memory feature. They also provide good databases, also very capable of dealing with big data, but they don't have in-memory feature in that.
So it's exclusively SAP?
Yes. But there are still a couple of players in the market that are pretty strong. Okay.
How do you support customers, and how do you search for them, or they come to your office and ask for the maintenance of the software?
Mm-hmm. So the question was, how do we reach our customers? There are different channels of doing that. One of the channel is, for example, official fairs, for example, Innovation Day or IT Challenge. So it is in kind of presentation. So it is organized for the bigger amount of people. So, for example, we had in September event which was called SAP Forum, where we were presenting modern trends in the modern world, right? Like I'm doing right now. And instead of students of AAU, they were, for example, business people, right? And if they were interested in any of our presentations, they can reach me after the presentation, and we can talk how we can help run their business simpler. Another channel can be marketing. So we take part in different competitions. We kind of sponsor events, right? And so the customers reach us after that event, or we reach customers. That means, for example, we have a big company, we come to them, we organize a meeting, and we advise them how they can improve their business. So we can proactively reach our customers. And there are many, many more channels in terms of indirect marketing, direct marketing, social networks, just as any other service provider would reach their customers. anything else in terms of technology, in terms of trends, in terms of SAP company itself?
I have a question.
Sure.
When we have the live application or the live tracking and everything is live, we have like so much data. And how do you manage to collect and save the data? Because when we have so many applications and so many informations, then it must be a huge volume of data.
Yeah. With this said, I would like to come back to one of my slides here. Which is explaining how SAP works, how HANA works. These are storage disks, and this is in memory. In memory, as I was explaining to you, is central process unit, that processor. It has many layers of cache, right? That example of gaining information. And while the system is working, all of that data is on your table. But once it is shut down, the so-called backup is being proceeded. That means HANA as a machine, physical one, it has some disks to store that information. But it doesn't do it during operation. From operation, it just starts, it extracts all of that data from those disks and work them on the table, right? If I can say that like that. But as a machine, it has that disks to store that information. Anything else?
Okay, that's your last chance to ask him before next week your project